Welcome to the Saints Gaming CA Twitch channel. Of course, your home for the St. Clair Saints varsity esports team. And we're our matchup for tonight, season opener of Collegiate League of Legends. This is cLoL. It's going to be Worcester Polytechnic Institute versus St. Clair College. As you may hear in the background, these guys aren't wasting any time here. So we're going to hop right into the first initial draft of the game. Of course, we'll be breaking down these teams as they go along. Our opponents for tonight, of course, Worcester Polytechnic Institute. We do have up in the top lane, going to be Max Chief 101. Then in the jungle, Link 101-011. X Knight in the mid lane. Then Big Jado in the bot lane position, probably the AD carry role to be specific. And then Hawkster 27 is going to be playing the support on the squad. Meanwhile, your hometown crowd here, of course, St. Clair College. We do have the rookie up in the top lane, Kubra 3. Then we have Active Force, the returning veteran from a couple semesters ago in the jungle. Frez, of course, no longer up in the top lane. He's back home in the mid lane. We have then, of course, the tried and true St. Clair bot lane duo of Lazzy and Mansfo, AD carry and support, respectively. Picks and bans, of course, already underway, and sure enough, we're going to see the Kaisa pick up here right off the bat here for St. Clair. Of course, them being on the blue side this time by gives them first pick, and Kaisa is just so dang strong right now. That's going to be the pickup in that situation. On the side of Worcester, we do have Max Chief on the misfortune, or not actually on the misfortune, but the misfortune and Ekram picked off right now. Misfortune seeing a lot more play as of late. Rather vulnerable AD carry with a bit of lack of movement, but definitely packs a major punch if you can combo her up with something. And Hekram is going to be the first part to that, it seems. Of course, being able to be relatively tanky, do a bunch of damage, as well as being an absolute nuisance in itself. Leona getting picked up here from Mansfo. That is a tried and true Mansfo champion if I've ever seen it. As much as the support's job is to escort the AD carry and keep them safe, we do see time and time again Mansfo moving from lane to lane, leaving Lazzy down in the bot lane by himself to just fend for himself for a little bit, and actually helping the other lanes get some eliminations as well. We have the Kane actually getting picked up here from St. Clair as well. I think this is going to be the first time I get to see them try this out outside of a scrim. So looking forward to seeing how Active Force, I believe, will be picking up that champion and how he does with it. Nautilus now going to be picked up for Worcester, as it's going to be Hawkster picking that one up. We're going to see the combo of Nautilus Misfortune down in the bot lane. Nautilus being, of course, a big, beefy boy himself, extremely tanky. And with the anchor being able to hook people, plus the ultimate to lock somebody down, it is one of those good combo pieces that you can pair up with a Misfortune and help her use that bullet time. Of course, for those who just hopped on in here, sorry if it seemed like there was a bit of a start and stop. We had to have to add a little bit of extra delay here as per the rules for the College League of Legends. Of course, we have the 3-minute delay built in game. We do also have to add a little bit more for the sake of competitive integrity, which fair enough by all means. Now, up in the top lane, it looks like, or more than likely up in the top lane, we're going to see Max Chief on the Shen. After a couple more bans getting taken off the board here on both sides. For the side of St. Clair, we still need a top laner and we still need a mid laner. I do like the fact that they're kind of holding Frez and Kubra's pick down to the last little bit. Silas is probably going to go over to Kubra, or I could be wrong. This may go over to Frez, actually. Possible flex pick in this situation. I can't say that I've ever seen either of these players play this champion yet, so interesting to see what happens there. But one of the big things I'm kind of hoping that St. Clair do end up doing in this situation is giving Kubra a more of a playmaking tank, which is exactly what I was kind of hoping for. We did see it during the first match of the other Collegiate League, where Kubra picked up the Gnar and was doing a fantastic job of healing for his team, stunning, and just being an absolute nuisance into the core backline, the core players. and even getting himself out of a 1v2. That was quite the spectacle in itself. So I'm happy to see him not on something like some sort of passive tank, because it felt like, to me at least, that it did not suit his playstyle in the slightest. Something like a Gnar, something that you can like not only just go in, but you can really make an impact in a team fight for more than just peeling. And I'm happy to see Cooper 3 is on that. We're going to see real quick, just to double check where everybody is going here. Zoe was the last pickup on the side of whatchamacallit, on the side of Worcester. Unfortunately, this is exactly some spaghetti sometimes happens here, unfortunately, as it was when you do the champ select, of course, normally you can pick somebody else's champion, then trade later. Unfortunately for Worcester, something kind of spaghettied out a little bit, so not going to be the case. But of course, I am your host here. My name is Dan Banner, also known as Mr. Danner, as your producer and of course host for this evening. Or I keep thinking it's evening. It's only 3 in the afternoon. It's weird having matches that start before 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock. It's quite nice. You'll hear, of course, them just quickly hopping through the band phase once again here. But I never really got the opportunity to mention the bands as they were going along, because these players, they started right on the dot, which for collegiate, to be honest, that's kind of unusual. But it was interesting that the side of Worcester really took a stab at the jungle. They took a lot of the meta, or I guess the mainstay junglers for this patch, take them out of the board with Olaf and I guess Nunu as well. And then they did kind of target Frez a little bit. The one game that we did see, it would have been on Thursday. The one game that Frez really stood out on was the game he was playing Anivia. So picking away the Anivia via a ban, a good job on the side of Worcester. But that being said, I think everybody is still on a relatively comfortable pick. You have Lazi, of course, on the Kai'Sa, and it's something he's been practicing consistently. And I mean, Kai'Sa's just fantastic right now as well. And of course, I was saying earlier, Kubra on the Gnar, that's going to be something to keep an eye on as well. I'm interested to see, though, how Active Force and Frez play their respective champions here. As Kane and Silas, I've not exactly seen them play as of yet. And then Miensfo, he's on his staple. He's on his Leona. He's the assistant engager, even the main engager of the squad. The go button, if you will, of the team. Feeling right at home there. Okay, they fixed themselves up this time by. So, of course, as we do await for the first game to get underway here, I want to do a couple quick things of... a couple quick thank yous, of course. Once everybody who is hopping in right now, of course, sorry if I confused you with start and stop. Had to add a little bit of extra delay to the stream today. But big thank you to the sponsors, of course, as well. St. Clair College, Tim Hortons, St. Clair SRC, and the St. Clair College Alumni Association, Zuckelman School of Business and Information Technology, and PC Outlet. Of course, we're not going to be able to have this varsity squad without you, so thank you all so much. And of course, thank you again to everybody watching already. Looking excited and ready to go here for this matchup, and excited to see everybody supporting their friends, family, their programs, or anyone else that you happen to know in their esports endeavors. It's always a pleasure broadcasting to you as often as we do here on the Saints channel. And then real quick, as we will wait the spectator delay, if you also are thinking that it's maybe a little bit too early, but you want to get a shot at maybe being on one of our teams one day, well, be sure to apply registration, or applications rather, for the fall 2021 next September's teams are already online on our website. Fill it out or fill it out at the website below, of course, stclairsaints.ca/join. Get involved and stop thinking about it. Just do it. Okay. Now, looking at the players themselves, we did kind of go over them a tiny little bit earlier. Of course, Max Chief, Link, X Knight, Big Jado, and Hawkster as I'm curious because this team this time by, I think on paper at least, is a little bit easier compared to what the Saints were up against last Thursday. It kind of threw me off a little bit. I was trying to do my best to do some research on the opponents from last Thursday. However, with the new season and whatnot, a lot of people didn't actually get the opportunity to play their ranked matches. So I'm thinking they had a couple unranks and a couple diamonds. But apparently, the team that we played last Thursday was like 4 ex-Grandmasters. Well, that was York University. So York University had like 4 ex-Grandmasters. Which, to be honest then, I feel kind of bad because I was a little bit hard on our Saints, to be honest. But if that was, of course, the case where it was the 4 Grandmasters up against our Saints, I will be extremely honest. I'm extremely happy with how they performed, to be completely frank. Being able to take a match off a team like that alone is a huge deal. But even then, everybody was pretty much right alongside them. That could have been anybody's game, except for Game 3. It felt like it kind of fell apart. But I'm looking forward to seeing how they turn this around here, because Max Chief and the rest of the Worcester Polytechnic Institute squad are about anywhere from golds to diamond 2s. So this is something a little bit more standard that you would see from a collegiate matchup. So I'm looking forward to a bit more of an even fight in terms of on-paper rankings. But of course, solo queue compared to teamed play is a night and day difference. Sometimes it even feels like a completely different game. And one thing that was also brought to my attention too, I may have been looking at somebody's TFT rank. And of course, I don't care about what your teamfight tactics rank is. We're talking about Summoner's Rift. So, looking to get underway. Spectator delay is just about to finish up here. What I personally want to see here, because we've seen the pop-off from Kubra versus York on Game 2. I want to see Active Force. I want to see Frez have their moment now, because Lazzy and Yensfo, they've been solid in the past seasons. They were solid in the first games versus York as well. I want to see Active Force and Frez get their highlight moments here tonight, and will hopefully spread the love across the entire Saints squad. But of course, I want to see them all do great. I want to see a good match as well. As much as I love to say that we're here for the hometown squad, what I love more than seeing our squad win is seeing a fantastic match, regardless of who ends up winning. Am I using the steering wheel to spectate? No, you may have caught me. Whoopsie, you might have caught me. You know, I might have been on the track last night, to say the least. Calling me out there in chat. I see you all. And that was a kind of cool, interesting thing. Stumped Now, of course, pointing out in the chat as well. When they were doing the initial draft phase, they picked the Silas like early enough to where you could it could have been in the top lane, it could have been in the mid lane as well. It really messed things up, not being able to predict where that Silas was going. But without further ado, game is just about to get underway, loaded up. And I'm sure all of you must be sick of seeing my face right now. Let's switch that. Game number 1, now underway. One of the things that we did see during the York matchup too was a little bit unconventional in the sense that there was almost constantly jungle fighting early, or in the early levels rather, like level 1 to 2 and 3s. Felt like it took an eternity because nobody was actually ever in lane. Now, we could be doing something rather similar here. We see Hawkster. He does find the hook onto Lazzy. The drowsy, the sleepiness now onto Lazzy as well. He's going to get first blooded instantly, and it's going to be going over to Hex Knight. The pack, or the Worcester pack as 5, really making a mess out of Lazzy that time by. What a fantastic start as well. That kill going over to Hex Knight, so that mid lane going to be that much better. Not only do you have yourself your potions, now you got yourself an extra ring as well. Add on a little bit of extra damage, and then Frez just must be absolutely shaking his head in this situation. The fact that he's again going to have to go up against somebody who gave his mid laner a kill. Granted, Lassie, he tried his best to get out of there. Did not expect the group of 5 coming out. Blue start for Worcester, and then St. Clair on the blue side. So both bot lanes going to be arriving into their lane a tiny bit late in this situation, but at the same time nonetheless though. So no real crazy race to level 2. And we see the extra damage already coming out here from Hex Knight, really putting Frez in a world of hurt. It's not what he wants to be seeing start things off here. Of course, Silas may not necessarily be the purest of melee damage dealers, but has way less range compared to a Zoe. So anytime he tries to go in for a minion, he is going to get smacked in the face by Hex Knight pretty much every single time. Level 2 in the bot lane going to Lazi and Miensfo start things off. We do see Miensfo just basically shoving that bot lane away from the minions. Going to slow down their leveling and just neuter their CS as well. As it starts finally getting to the turret, though, they can finally start getting involved. Yeah, but a much quieter start this time. No crazy extended jungle fights. Something a little bit more standard. It was a nice 5-player gank onto the bot side, where Lassie, of course, did get picked off in that situation. But now that both junglers should have both of their buffs and good to go, where do they end up going next? Of course, Scuttle Crab's oftentimes one of the first objectives you'll see the junglers go for as well, but sometimes ganks can happen here. So we do see Kubra getting taunted on a little bit. Of course, Shen doesn't exactly do the most amount of damage, but over time he can definitely add it up, basically like getting smacked with a wet noodle constantly. You see Active Force hovering around the mid lane, but Link is actually there as well. Could possibly look to turn it. Did pop his E. Looked to try and dash in, but opted against it in the end. It's going to cut off Active Force a little bit. Kubra, again, still having a little bit of a hard time here up against the Shen of Max Chief for now. And it looks like Active Force did find Link in the jungle. Frez is there for backup, but Lassie and Miensfo come in. Nice little flash there from Miensfo to make sure that he does get on to player just in time. Link is going to go down. Frez going to find the first elimination on the side of St. Clair this time by gets himself a double. And that's exactly what I want to see here from this St. Clair squad. Frez, he's getting really dicey here. Actually gets the chains onto Hex Knight, forcing the flash as well. So a lot of value coming out in that river fight. Link getting caught out, brought everybody else here. Miensfo with the flash at the last possible second to make sure that, I believe it would have been Active Force getting caught out there. Miensfo getting extremely aggressive here, flashing through the turret to try and get onto Big Jado. Can they actually finish this off? They're going to be one shot away. The flash from Lassie going to secure the kill. The aggressive plays coming out here from St. Clair. Love to see it. Now, Frez and Lassie are both on the right side of the kill feed. This is going to be a good game if they could keep this one up for them. But solid job there for Frez to be able to find himself 2 eliminations. I know, like, talking to Frez, like, whether I was talking to him as a commentator prior or just discussing the game and whatnot, it does feel like if something isn't exactly going his way, he doesn't necessarily rage, but he really feels bad about it. The confidence kind of goes away. But as soon as something goes in his way, it's like a switch just gets flicked and he goes absolutely crazy. And being able to find himself with 2 kills probably makes him feel a little bit better, knowing too, since Zoe, or Hex Knight rather, did get the kill onto Lassie early, so now he has 2 of his own, so he's basically right back in the game, even playing field. Must be feeling much better about that. We do have the dragon looking to get taken down here. Active Force getting quite low, but should be able to take this. There it goes. Miensfo might be walking into a pony. That might have been spotted out. Of course, Ansfo is going to flash on over. Does manage to get back on the Big Jado once again. Lassie trying to dump as much damage as possible. Not going to be enough to actually do the kill, but we do now have Hawkster. He's here right in time to try and follow up. Lassie's going to be going down. Big Jado trying to find Mienzo as well. Mienzo doesn't have flash, of course, so he's going to try and fight this out. Not going to happen, and the over-aggression now for St. Clair. They knew that Nautilus was mid, so they tried to do the 2v1 dive onto him once again, but there was not enough damage for Lassie in this situation, and Mienzo. So now is basically just passing a couple kills over into the pocket of Big Jado, of course. And they're going to probably get themselves a couple extra turret plates for their troubles as well. So a nice little turnaround here for the bot lane of Big Jado and Hawkster to get themselves back into this lane. Alright, now the fun part of casting a Sylas game is I gotta figure out exactly when it was the ult of another champion or if Sylas stole somebody's ultimate. Because of course that is his big main ability, being able to steal an ultimate from somebody and use it for himself. The animations could definitely look kind of funny in this case. I imagine if, like, say if Frez stole Big Jado's bullet time or something like that, would he be shooting bullet time out of his chains? Like, how does this work? And this is what I like to see. It looks like here in the Twitch chat we do have a nice mix of fans from both squads. This is what I like to see. They want to see Hawkster get some eliminations. And of course, he may not have gotten the kills in that last one, but he set up Big Jado big time just a couple minutes ago in that bot lane, setting up that double kill, putting his partner back up in the lane. Or back up even in the lane, rather. 7-on-7 in regards to levels, but we have 2 engagements happening. Active Force going to be coming on through. Bullet time is going to go through everybody, but it does get stunned out rather early. Big Jado shielded up, but here comes Link trying to charge on in. We have 2 teleports coming out from St. Clair, however. Cooper 3 is ready with the Gnar. He's going to get 3 of them! Takes so many of them away. Sends them into the wall. Double kill coming down here for Saints, but is Active Force going to get out alive? Max Chief going to go down right before getting the final blow onto Active Force. This is exactly why I wanted to see Cooper 3 on a playmaker, why I wanted to see the Gnar, the nutty Gnar, setting up the play, and everybody else cleans up. And actually Cooper got himself an elimination in that setup as well. So perfect play here for the Saints to try and grow themselves a lead. There's no Dragon that they could try to capitalize on as of this moment. There is a Rift Herald, and if they want to try and go for it. However, I think Worcester very well might beat them to it this time by. But nicely done. Of course, now that now that Cooper has a little bit of extra gold in his pocket from the assists and the kill, he is able to, of course, start working on that Trinity Force, which means now he could probably actually start trading with Max Chief and feel a little bit comfortable with it. Of course, being able to just proc the Sheen procs constantly with basic attacks, or after an ability with a basic attack, you know what I'm trying to say here? But, or excuse me, because beforehand he was just kind of ever so slightly losing out. That being said, though, I'm looking at the CS up in that top lane. He must have been doing a fantastic job nonetheless, even if he was just playing a wet noodle fight with Max Chief's Shen. Because 85 compared to 51, that is actually rather rough right now here for Max Chief. Maybe the harassment in lane happened a little bit earlier than expected, even prior to that Sheen being ready. So solid job for the rookie, for Kubra up here in the top lane. Winning this lane significantly, making the plays necessary to help his teammates as well. Keep that up and probably see our Saints on the W this time by. Rift Herald did end up going into the pocket of Link. And now Dragon will be the next possible objective here. We do see the Saints pushing down that that top turret. We do see the Herald coming out as well. And that's going to be targeting the mid lane. Active Force does spot out Hawkster and Big Jado. A good flash for Big Jado to at least get out a dodge, but it's going to be too little too late. Lassie is still going to find that finishing blow onto Hawkster. Just the positioning could not do anything. Kubert's going for the 1v1 up against Max Chief here. But so far so good. Good stun as well. Can he get the solo kill onto him? One more shot. He's going to throw the house at him and take care of it. Kubra with the solo kill up top. And while sure that mid turret from the Saints is going to go down, Link and Hex Knight going to take that down. That's going to be a lot of turret plates coming down, and gold's going into the pocket of Kubra. Then the Saints also got the Dragon as well. This is Dragon number 2 for them here in this game. So overall positive here for the Saints, but at the same time Worcester is still keeping themselves relatively even. Like, sure, something may have not necessarily gone their way, but they do try to at least trade it out with something additional. So not all hope lost in that situation. I mean, given the situation, because Active Force actually had a massive flank on that bot lane, but it was good timing there for Big Jado to flash away from that solar flare from Yansfo. Otherwise, he would have been an absolute sitting duck. That would have been a double kill down in that bot lane instead of just the one. You can really see Max Chief is being so cautious now for that Worcester side. Nearly half the CS of Kubra in this situation. And just any time the Nar is missing, anytime Kubra is missing, he seems to just wait in the bush for a second. Make sure, is it actually okay for me to CS right now? And then he'll finally get moving, but a little rough nonetheless there. Max Chief definitely going to be the supporter in this situation, but hopefully for his case can just take some time, try to get some gold, farm up a little bit, as otherwise, sure, you might be the tank, but the tank doesn't have any armor if he's behind that badly. You're gonna be in a world of hurt. Perez is gonna walk right into Hex Knight, however, does seem like the dodge happens. Active Force does show himself. Mansfo is here as well. Solar Flare is possible. Dead on target. And that's going to be the Cane Ult coming through as well. Hex Knight trying to dip and dodge away. Going to go down. Active Force going to find himself a kill here. Kuber 3 now being in hot pursuit as Link and Max Chief are on his tail. Actually, now who's here up or here? Frez is looking to try and possibly make a play onto Link. He's going to go extremely low in this situation. Hangs on by a thread and somehow is going to get that elimination. Nicely done there. Cleans it up with like 1 HP left to his name, and now this top turret is probably not long for this world, as there's 3 Saints pounding away on it, with Mansfo there for backup as well. So now everyone take the turret and leave. Big Jado going to try and trade this out, however. Might not get it this time by, but will probably get it the next time at worst. So at least tower for tower, making something happen out of it. Big Jado, of course, going to be the big damage for the Worcester side, alongside Hex Knight as well. Hex Knight, 1 kill, 1 assist, 1 death. Bit of a quieter game in the mid lane, but it's at least been farming well, killing off as many minions as well. Or many minions as he possibly can. So he's still going to be packing a punch. And we do see Frez actually stealing the ultimate from Link, and it's going to leave Hawkster a sitting duck. Of course, you have absolutely no idea which ultimate he has stored in that situation. So something like that can be extremely irritating when you get caught by something you don't expect to even be a thing. Where Silas does not have that ability, would have had to steal it off Link. And the jungle pressure continues here as Lazi just pops the pony and moves on forward here with Active Force, as the next dragon should be, okay, not quite ready just yet, but now it looks like they have their eyes on Big Jado. Of course, the big threats regards to damage. I know they would love to knock Big Jado down a notch. And it's going to be Active Force tanking here. A good bullet time, at least going to put some damage across, and they're going to instantly pop Active Force, actually. Big Jado hanging on for dear life. This is going to get turned around. Max Chief going to find himself the shutdown to get himself back into the game, but Miensfo does actually finish off Big Jado in the end, but it's not going to be for nothing here. As Frez also goes down, it's just a matter of time before Miensfo goes down here. Going to probably pass this one over to Zoe here. Hex Knight going to find himself a double kill in that exchange. Big Jado, we were just talking about the big damage that he could very well pull off. Active Force got just completely wrecked in that engagement, and I don't know where the tower aggro went right after that, but it was definitely not good there for St. Clair. And then Max Chief being there to get the shutdown kill onto Lassie's Kaisa could be the gold difference that he needed to get himself back into this game as the tank. Now that he was able to get 2 kills and a bunch of assists with that, definitely going to be good for him. Finally armor up a little bit. Active Force is going to challenge this dragon though. Very, very crafty play, but it is going to be Link securing that smite. Gonna see him probably get sliced down here. No, not quite. Active Force hanging on by a thread. Kubra from behind, actually. Where in the world did he come from? Triple kill for Kubra. I'm gonna have to watch that one again later on today, because where the heck did Kubra come from? Took down Big Jado really quickly, and I don't even think he was Mega Gnar in that situation. Just did that all by himself. The one overextension after another here. Frez might be the victim of another, but we do see Kubra and Miensfo going to just focus down the turret. Now they're going to jump after Max Chief. Chains are not going to make contact, however. Good little chunk of damage there from Kubra, but Max Chief will be just fine in this situation. But yeah, overextension after overextension, it seems, here in this game. Saints with, of course, the rather rough-looking tower dive down on bot to try and get Big Jado. But then, Worcester, a little bit greedy going for the dragon. Granted, they did secure the dragon. If there is one flaw that I see rather consistently here with Active Force, is that his smites are not necessarily reliable, to say the least, in those like big monster engagements. But that being said, the dragon going over to the side of Worcester is absolutely fine if you can absolutely clean up the team, which of course the Saints did with Kubra leading the charge with a triple in that instance. Although I cuss Active Force's smiting ability, but the one thing that he's doing absolutely right here is just constantly being a part of setting up fights. 10 assists for him right now, alongside 3 eliminations for himself. So he's having himself a fantastic game here on this King. And then this is where I feel the Saints kind of work best. As much as it seems like rather standard to kind of protect Lassie and just let the Kaisa go crazy, let the AD carry do all the carrying, all the damage. I feel like the Saints are always at their best if everybody can be a threat, or there's multiple threats on the side of St. Clair, so that it isn't just focus Lassie and win. Heck, with the way the game's going, Frez is absolutely killing it too. He's going to be doing a ton of damage. 3 kills, 8 assists to his name. But then, of course, even Kubra, who's supposed to be the tank in this situation, is a damage dealer in himself with how far he is ahead in this situation, as we do see down bot Hex Knight going to get dived upon. However, Max Chief is going to be there to stand united to keep his partner alive. Good thing, too, because Hex Knight's Zoe's extremely squishy by nature. And of course, the 20-minute mark in this game just about to show up as we have Baron Nashor making an appearance. And as Baron makes an appearance, Shelly going to make one last appearance here in the bot lane. Try and see if maybe it can do some damage to that turret, but I do believe it is going to be pushed aside. Frez would have got away. Was thinking that the taunt would have happened. May have been a little too respectful, actually, of the option there from Max Chief. Taunt's barely going to miss. And now we have a fight near the Baron here. This is going to be a little bit nasty. They're going to turn this over to Hawkster, who is the first one to try and engage. Lassie going to take them down. Kubra is messing with Link in the background here to at least make sure there's no smite challenge. But Baron, in the meantime, has had all the time in the world to completely recharge. A nice little burst there between Miensfo and Lassie to pop Big Jado before Miensfo got popped himself. So it's going to go probably net neutral here in this situation, or pretty close to it. Jado Hawkster go down. while Frez went down in the bot lane. And Saints, I think they just need to go back and heal in this situation. Don't try that again. As Link, I mean, he doesn't have a lot of health, but he could still definitely make something happen. You can see what Silas has stolen, apparently. I am an absolute bot, so never mind me. Okay, so like I say time and time again on these streams, I don't mind being wrong, so I'm thankful to have the Twitch chat here, especially for situations like that. Makes a better understanding. Oh, okay. Actually, we can see it right here, can't we? So in this situation here, Frez would be able to use Stand United if that didn't time out. The more you know. Okay, Mansfo diving in here on to Max Chief, and with a whole gang here, they're probably going to pass this on over to Lazzy, and I think we may have someone right there. I don't know if Frez walked down or used his... Oh, no, he would have walked down. Never mind. That wasn't an ult to use. Yeah, another one in the pocket here for Lazzy. 8th kill of the game. 8 kills, 8 assists total. This is going to be Dragon number 3 unless the Worcester wants it to pull something crazy, but it's not going to be the case. Baron probably the next objective in sight here. We do see majority of the Saints on charge here. Cooper's still down in the bot lane. He does have teleport available though, so he can get to the fight as long as there's a ward available. Saints are going to try and burst this. It is kind of going down a bit slowly here. So Worcester does have an opportunity to set up. Here comes the teleport actually from Kubra's Gnar, which is in Mega form at the moment. When does he want to try and pop the Gnar, however, though? It's kind of in an awkward spot. He's just going to push him away. And this is exactly what I'm talking about here. Absolutely terrible. Once again, Smite fight not going in the favor of St. Clair, but they're still going to try to fight this out. Kubra is in the middle of the team here. Lassie still relatively healthy in this situation, trying to fight this out. He's going to go back in. He tries to make it happen. Max Chief, though, is going to be right on his face, and it's going to go down. Shutdown gold over to Hex Knight. The Smite fight loss again, plus losing 4. Absolute catastrophe here for St. Clair College. And there's probably going to be some turret casualties in the making as well. Probably just this one for now, at least. But that is a lot of gold that just went into the pockets of Worcester. And it was just awkward overall there for the St. Clair squad. They pushed that Baron down. We did see Kubra make the teleport in. That being said, Worcester just did a fantastic job of splitting up to the point where the big ulti, the Gnar ultimate, just ended up pushing one of the players away rather than using it as a playmaking ability. So with that going down, I mean, Lassie kept himself safe for the most part up until the very end, but the fight was essentially lost at that point. You see as well down here in the bot lane, Cooper going to find himself his 6th kill of the game after catching Max Chief. Just wanting the farm. He just wanted some minions. He just wanted some gold, man. And he's going to get absolutely picked on here again. It's going to be his 4th death of the game. Bot lane might be the focus here for the Saints. We do see active Force Mansfo hovering around that area. The rest of the Saints kind of hanging around the dragon hit in the river. Just trying to get as much vision as possible. As they try to get as much vision as possible, we do see, of course, Link and Hawks are trying to clean everything up. Try and add a little bit more surprise factor into the game. And, of course, less spots for the Saints to teleport on if the opportunity does arrive. Yeah, of course, and Kubra might be on the pace here to find Link up in the top lane. Brez could be in for a World of Hurt. I think he just stole the Stand United there from Max Chief. So could have a get out of free option as long as the Zoe didn't stun him or sleep him. Solar Flare again. Big Jado just not falling for that. That being said, though, here comes Active Force. Stun. Come on down. Lassie in the backline there. 1v1 with Jado. Active Force is going to take down Hawkster. And sure enough, Lassie is going to be able to get the shutdown onto Big Jado. The AD carry battle. Yes, they are both in fantastic position, but just shows the damage output from Lassie's Kaisa. Just has that much more burst damage, which the Saints definitely needed in that situation. To the point where they could split their focus and still find themselves a double and now a turret on top of that. In regards to eliminations, Lassie going to be the first one hitting the double digits. Currently 10 kills for him and almost has 10 assists as well, just sitting there with 9. But solid job so far here for the Saints squad. Worcester, though, still in a winnable position. Only about 5k down in regards to the gold. Still winnable if they can get this misfortune to pop off. And then X-Knight poking aside, just similar like what happened right then and there. Poke him down and then try to combo him. Could be the case here. Frez does have the Nautilus ultimate and is going to use it on the Nautilus himself. Max Chief in the middle of 5, but nobody's really going in. Everybody from the side of Worcester just got scooped up into the middle, and that is going to let Lassie absolutely pop off here in a situation. Active Force is going to find himself on the kill feed as well as Kubra, and this fight just did not go into the favor of Worcester in the slightest. This is going to be Dragon number 4. Saints are going to have the soul here in this situation. Big time buff for them. And then Hex Knight might be able to 1v1 Active Force in this situation. Try and get out of dodge. Kubra going to come hunt while Frez and Lassie look to take the mid turret and possibly the inhibitor as well. And sure enough, the ace a little bit late, but is going to come on down nonetheless. Active Force is going to finish that off. And when they're going to go all the way down mid, secure this inhibitor, I would assume then go back, get yourself some buffs, get yourself your items, and push hard for the Baron so you can then finish up next. That fight was absolutely nutty there. Worcester just got scooped up all in the middle. And it was maybe a tiny bit overzealous on the point of Max Chief. Either he was overzealous or nobody went with him, because it felt like he taunted in. I think he did hit people with a taunt as well, but then he was in the middle of 5 and maybe just Hex Knight was kind of poking from the side. Nobody else felt like he was really with him there. To the point where he dropped, then the only casualty on the side of the Saints was Mansfo, but he was taken down because he was setting up additional plays after the fact, which is fair. All of that being said, though, Misfortune, Big Jado, just picking up the Infinity Edge as well, but so does Lassie. Both of those AD carries, respectively, have so much damage. Can you keep them safe? Because you can see right there, just 2 shots into Active Force, and he's basically dead already. Bullet time coming from both players in this time. That's going to be Frez and Jado doing a bunch of damage. Frez going to find the first elimination. Kaisa, that's going to be Lassie finding another. And it's looking like it's going to be nothing but Saints in the kill feed after that, as that's going to be the triple going over to Lassie. Teleport into the mid lane. Let's finish this one off, and let's start cLoL off strong with Game 1. Likely going over to the St. Clair Saints in this situation. Sure enough, that will be the case. Nobody's going to be able to spawn in time. St. Clair take Game 1 over Worcester Polytechnic Institute. And for the second time, apparently, in a few days, we end up breaking the game right at the very ending. But still, Saints end up taking care of Game 1 in rather, well, not convincing fashion, but those last couple team fights definitely felt kind of convincing there. Lassie finished that game off with 15 eliminations and 13 assists, 22 assists from Mansfo. Frez ends up going 4 and 19 in regards to kills and assists. But everybody on the Saints just did absolutely flawless. Or not flawless, but fantastically. But the flawless, there was actually one flawless here in this match. Goes over to the rookie. Kubra 3 goes 7 kills, 14 assists, no deaths. On the Nutty Gnar, let's keep him on it as long as he doesn't get banned, okay? That seems to be the play right here for Saints, because that was very, very solid nonetheless. Also want to give a big thank you to Oxidation Elite for that Prime subscription. Big thank you for supporting the Saints Gaming CA channel. Enjoy the access to the archive. Of course, everybody else, of course, if you happen to have yourself Twitch Prime, be sure to sub to the channel. Get access to any match you want from any of the matches that we broadcasted in the past. Get it exactly on demand here on the Twitch channel via the subscription. Of course, there's some pretty interesting emotes in there as well that might be a little bit fun for the Twitch chat. So thank you for your support. With that, I'm going to take a quick breather here between Game 1 and 2. We're going to be right around the corner. Probably not going to be wasting too much time as Worcester Polytechnic Institute versus St. Clair. Game 2 is right around the corner.